Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, DJ Chardangerous.
And it's your boy, DJ Big Bopper.
And we are back with another episode of
Wave of the Planet.
So, how has your week been, Bob? How's your week been?
It's been, I don't know, it's been good, but bad at the same time. I felt like I had a really good weekend. I got a lot of things to do, or I got a lot of things done. I went out to Dallas and I went to a club and I saw Downlink live at the Lizard Lounge, so that was a lot of fun. And yeah, it was pretty much it. Like, I just did a lot of homework and had fun there. But then I got caught up on The Bachelor and I'm pretty irritated on how that all unfolded, to be honest.
Okay, so just a real quick recap, spoiler. Demi went home at the beginning, right?
No, she went home at like the end.
Okay, then you're behind an episode.
Well, I haven't watched this week's episode yet. I haven't. I have Hulu, so I missed the viewing party on Monday at the
the week before someone else went home too.
Oh yeah, Sydney, I think.
Yeah, Sydney got sent home at the rose ceremony. So this week.
Oh no! He sent somebody else home as well, and then somebody at the rose. There's like 3 people went home.
Yeah, because he gave their 4 girls. I think 4 girls already had roses, and then 3 girls got them. So Monday decided rose ceremony.
Went home, I believe. No, she's still in there. Onyeka?
Yes. Okay, so off the top of my head, Onyeka, Hannah G, Cassie, Kaylin, who was the other one? And 2 other girls.
I don't know, but I think
are still there.
I think it was Nicole finally got sent home. She was
yes, it was Nicole and what's her face and the other girl who was talking about her evidently. Not Onyeka.
I thought it was Onyeka.
Was it?
I thought it was.
I don't know. It might have been. Okay, so Monday I haven't watched it either, but Monday decides like the final 4 like hometowns.
And then from that 4, it will determine who will be on The Bachelorette, right?
Kind of. So I have a feeling.
So this is the first time I've ever even tried to get into The Bachelor. I've never watched it before this, so I don't really know how it works. But how it was explained to me was they only take, for like The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, they only take somebody from the like home visits.
Usually kind of sort of that's around like what they do, yeah. Or like if a woman or a man really gets kind of screwed over, then yeah, they're going to be the next. So, I mean, I know who goes to hometowns and I know who I want to be the next Bachelorette.
I think my favorite now, probably.
No, that's not Demi.
Dude, I like Demi. She was fun.
I do too. I just think that they didn't have that strong of a connection and he told her that. So, you know. But she also went there with the wrong intentions.
Yeah, I agree. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
she's from Texas, so we got a little bit of piece of her in our hearts. Who's your favorite?
It's probably between Hannah B and Kaylin.
Hannah B, that's the other one. So, I like Hannah B and Kaylin. I also am a fan of Cassie and Hannah G. I like Cassie and Hannah G a lot.
Which was the one who had never been kissed?
Heather. Still, that's who it is.
I know.
Cassie,
Heather,
Hannah B, Hannah G, Heather, and Kaylin.
Which I thought was funny because later in that episode, Heather came up and it said, has never been kissed before. And I was like...
Yeah, but then they kissed on their one-on-one.
Yeah, I know, but that came on after that. So I was like...
Editing.
Somebody needs to change that.
That means that she had that confessional before... she went on her date, so that's a little editing error that they made.
I know.
My week was good. My week has been kind of rough, actually. It's very, we're getting to that point where it's like close to midterms, like you're already kind of in a set schedule. I'm really kind of in a new schedule with my other job, and so it's like a little bit stressful. Mm-hmm. I have a lot going on, a lot of stuff coming up, and I'm kind of like, I'm just tired. I'm just so tired, but it's okay. I'm getting through it.
Hey, you only got, 10 weeks? You got this?
Dude, no lie, yeah.
You got
like, 10, 11 weeks of school left, and we're literally in week 6 right now, and that just drives me nuts. Like, it's gone by so fast. I don't know, but I'm also starting to get really excited. I made a timeline plan for myself.
There you go.
I'm getting a credit card next month, which is scary, but like I'm really getting a credit card to build up credit.
Yeah, I was like, keep a low limit on that, like 200 max, and try not to fill up your gas on it once a month and pay it off. You'll be all right.
Well, like spring break, me and I'm going up to Longview to see my best friend, and we're gonna go to Louisiana one day, and so I'll probably just use it to like get a hotel room and like stuff like that. So,
I plan on going and traveling in spring break, but instead I'm moving into a house.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, see, that's still fun though.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it is, but
don't get me wrong.
I would much rather than spending all that my time off, moving into a house, unpacking everything.
Yeah.
I would like to go. I planned on. One, I wanted to go to my friend's wedding, but I wasn't able to go to that because of work anyway.
Yeah.
But 2, I was like, I'd just drive to Colorado, just stay with some of my family for a little bit, visit with them, and come back.
I have friends going to Colorado.
So.
And I was like, I would love to go with them, but I just know that I'm only going to be able to be gone for 5 days.
Right,
so I was
exactly.
like, I'll go somewhere local. I've never actually gone on a spring break trip. I've never had like a spring break. I've always been at work.
Same.
So I'm excited, or even when I worked somewhere at home, like I'd go back home and work for a week. So I'm excited to have that time off. Songs of the week.
All right, I'm going to have to start it out with the OG, break up with your boyfriend on board, Avril Lavigne and Girlfriend.
So we have a story about Avril Lavigne coming up, and one of my favorite conspiracy theories is the one about Avril Lavigne actually being dead and her having a what is it, like a body double, or just like someone who like fills in for her called Melissa. Mm-hmm. Conspiracy theories to me are so, I don't necessarily believe them, but I think they're so funny. So,
doppelganger.
Yeah, like a doppelganger. Well, yeah, she has a doppelganger named Melissa, and Avril Lavigne actually died a couple years ago, and so Melissa is the one who now, does her music and stuff. So she came out with a new song, and I tweeted, I was like, okay, Melissa. So, but that's why? Because this is the OG breakup with your girlfriend?
Well, yeah, that, and then, of course, the story with Avril Lavigne. But it's mostly like, I just remember, this is one of those 10 songs that I had on repeat when I was younger, when I played Burnout Paradise City. And there's like 80 songs on their track list, and I had like 70 of them, so I unchecked them all, so that only those 10 songs would be playing while I played, and this was one of them, so it's just something I grew up listening to on repeat.
I think I remember listening to this song. I think I had it on a Now CD.
I was about to say, I doubt anybody from like our like generation has not heard this,
they know
at least
this
once,
one.
or at least like, if not this song, heard the Skater Boy,
Skater
or at least
Boy.
seen the memes, like
Skater Boy.
See you later, boy.
When You're Gone. Oh, that's a soul crushing one. I used to listen to that one and cry. Let's take a listen to Skater Boy. No, Girlfriend. So, solid track. I'll give you that.
I would say it's like one of those original edgy teen
She was like I don't know. Every generation has one. And she was like our generation's like edgy teen.
Yeah.
And she had like the stripes in her hair, like in her hair and stuff. And you're like, I want to be Avril Lavigne. And she kind of made it cool to be a tomboy. That's what I remember about her. Because she didn't dress conventional.
Right,
and like, but she was like a real skater
kinda
boy.
Do your own thing kind of deal.
I started skateboarding because of Skater Boy.
Hey.
I did. I skateboarded for a while, actually. Well, that's a good pick, as usual, Bopp.
And what about you, Chardae? What is going to be your song of the week this week?
Okay, so I don't know. A lot of the music that I listen to and find is just weird and funny. This song, okay, you know what? We're gonna watch the music video. I'm gonna have to turn it down anyways because there's a couple curse words in it. But I just want you to watch the music video with me because it's so funny. It's called Sweater by Spencer Sutherland.
Okay.
My ex, we were once in love. Haven't spoken in about 6 months. Till she told my friends at once. And that's when things got out of control. Took my shit, she said, baby, don't go. I don't wanna be here no more. That's my sweater. That's mine, yeah. My sweater. Why the f you got it on? Why the f you got it on?
So that's Sweater. The music video is just funny.
Yeah, no, that's definitely like story of my life. I definitely understand that feeling.
So basically he like works at a bowling alley and it's like his ex-girlfriend walks in and literally she just has his sweater on. Mm-hmm. And so the whole song is like, why is she wearing my sweater? I want it back.
That or they'll come to like the bar you work at wearing like one of your shirts.
Knowing that they'll run into you.
Like knowing you work there. Like, okay. Thanks.
And so, yeah, exactly. And so I don't know where I found this song. I think it was
that's
like
funny.
I think it was like a YouTube recommendation, but dude, it's so funny. Half the music that I listen to is just funny to me. And so I saw this music video and I started watching and I was like, oh crap, that's actually really funny. And so like I showed my roommates, I like made them watch it. And so now like it's like one of our songs that we all listen to in the car.
What I think is funny is just like how relatable, like how real is that?
Yes.
Though? Like think about it. Like think about guys, like how many sweatshirts, jackets, and just normal shirts have been taken from you because they're comfy.
But you never get them back after the breakup. You know?
You'll never get those back.
And then, like, my favorite part is the falsetto, like how high his voice gets. That's my sweater. My sweater. Anyways, so yeah,
I can definitely hear the like WTF in his voice.
Exactly. So yeah, that's my song of the week. We are gonna add these to our playlist. I hope you guys are following. It's called Wave the Planet. So very simple, very easy to find on our KXTR 100.7 The Planet Spotify. So, we have a lot of music news today. Probably not really any sports. We'll probably just do a Texans softball, baseball update. But we have a lot of music news.
Yeah, it seems like, a lot of these stories are, with 3 of these stories are follow-ups. So we were talking about, as we find more information, we're going to bring it up. And then, of course, man, it just seems like this was like a bad week for rappers.
It was just a great week to get arrested.
Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff going on. So it's just we got a little bit of update on our 21 Savage, our Tekashi 6ix9ine, and our R.L. Kelly news. So we got a little bit of that, and then of course we got a bunch of brand news to go in. So I think we're gonna go and get started. What would you like to start off with?
Let's just go ahead and get that R. Kelly update out of the way. If you don't want to hear this sensitive material, you can skip about 5 minutes or so. We're going to talk about the R. Kelly trial. I'm hoping is he on trial at this point?
He is currently in the hands of the grand jury, and that is convened. So hopefully he will be indicted soon.
Good. I hope he doesn't get away with it this time.
So I'm going to go into the story. So R. Kelly's fate is currently in the hands of a grand jury that is secretly convened the last week and is now in the real possibility that the singer can finally be indicted on criminal charges. Sources close to the situation has confirmed to the blast in the grand jury that convened last week by the Cook County's State Attorney Office in Chicago. We're told that the grand jury, comprised of a group of citizens, was formed on the heels of attorney Michael Aventi during a videotape allegedly depicting Kelly engaged in sexual activity with an underage girl. Since the airing of the Lifetime docuseries Surviving R. Kelly, the public has become more demanding that the charges be brought against him, but officials have yet to formally charge the star as they have dealt with the hurdles of locating victims and forming a case. So, however, one of the powers of the Cook County State Attorney Office is the ability to assemble a grand jury which can issue an indictment against a defendant without prosecutors having to be present or having to present evidence at a preliminary hearing in front of a trial judge and a defense counsel. So the grand jury may also summon witnesses as they consider the matter at hand and decide on a possible indictment. So, Cook's top prosecutor, Kim Fox, has been publicly pleading with the alleged victims and a witness to come forward so that they can put a case together against Kelly. Fox is a sexual assault survivor herself and has admitted that the docuseries on the R&B star has sickened her. So, we're told that the grand jury will be presented with the VHS tape, which appears to be of Kelly having sex with an underage girl, and Aveni is representing the man who allegedly worked for R. Kelly and claims to know the identity of the girl in the tape, and she allegedly refers to her age as 14 years old. The walls have been closing in on Kelly for weeks, including a task force raiding his record studio in Chicago and a criminal investigation launched in Georgia. Kelly has also maintained his innocence with statements throughout this time through his attorney and also as a public birthday party where he proclaimed, "I don't give an F." So,
wow.
Man, the arrogance of the man just kind of irritates me a lot. Like,
well, here's the thing. You'd be arrogant too if you kept getting away with it. He literally, every time that he's like gone to court for it or anything like that, he's gotten away with it. So, I mean, it's kind of like, why would he think that he's not going to get away with it again?
I suppose. I just hope they, like I said, they don't have to, since they were doing it in a grand jury, they don't have to worry about like defense, going against a defense team, having to bring in all those charges in from it through an entire trial and through a trial judge. They're able to actually get a charge for him through this, hopefully.
Well, and see, that tape that they're talking about is an actual VHS tape.
So, yeah, how long has that been?
They talked about it in the documentary. That because this tape has been used in evidence before.
Uh-huh. But they never had, like, the victim?
No. The parents did not. She was too young at the time. The parents said, "That's not my daughter." They were getting paid off. Absolutely 100% they were getting paid off.
Yeah.
The niece... So it was a woman who worked with him closely.
Okay.
It was her niece.
Okay.
On the tape. And this is the P tape. And so it was her niece on the tape, and she, had brought her to the studio when she would come record with R. Kelly and things like that. And so he got to know her pretty well. She testified and said, yes, that is her on the tape. Her family was against it. And so he got away with it. And the thing is, I just recently watched, this isn't going to sound related, but Abducted in Plain Sight. Have you watched it?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the thing. There were a lot, I'm not going to, a couple spoilers, but we'll say spoiler alert before. Spoiler alert, this man, he was best friends with the family. He had affairs with both of the parents.
Not only did he have affairs with both of the parents...
Yeah, well, yes, he also molested the daughter multiple times.
So he was cheating on the parents with the daughter. And the parents were cheating on each other.
Yeah, but the daughter was like 12, so
yeah.
It's not really, they're not in a consensual relationship. Mm-hmm. She legally couldn't consent. The thing here is why I want to relate it to the situation is because he takes her, spoiler alert, he takes her, he kidnaps her, he marries her in Mexico, and then he comes, they finally get found, he's forced to bring her back. They bring charges up against him in, Utah? Not
at that time they were in Utah.
Like, it's an M. Minnesota? Was it Minnesota?
I don't
Something
know.
Up there, like, north.
But
East,
it
something like that.
basically blackmailed the parents into dropping all the charges.
Exactly. And the parents, his wife went over to their house and said, basically, if you guys don't drop the charges, we're going to let everyone in the town know that you had an affair, that the mother had an affair with him. Not the father. She didn't tell him about that yet. But that the mother had an affair. So they were ashamed of the things that they have done. And because of that, they put their daughter in an even worse situation. And I feel like that's the same thing that happened when this first went on trial. Literally, he told the parents, I'll pay you off, just don't say anything. They're like, okay, we're gonna take this money. But the thing is, that's not doing anybody any good. That's not, you only have yourself to repent to at the end of the day or whatever, but like, I don't know, and not even a religious thing, but just like, you have yourself to answer to. But I feel like as a parent, you have children that rely on you, and if your number one priority is to keep them safe, and taking money from this man is not keeping them safe. It's just enabling him more.
Hopefully they're going to be able to get her and get him indicted.
I want him locked up for the rest of his life.
Yeah, he needs to.
However long that may be.
He definitely needs to pay. Definitely needs to pay. It's wild. It's
disgusting.
It sickens me that it's even been able to go on for all this time. So hopefully, finally, we'll get him behind bars.
For good. Behind bars for good.
Okay.
Anything more positive? No.
Not really.
Well, I mean, it's positive if you're Tekashi 6ix9ine. It's not positive if you're the person that he assaulted.
So, a missing word in a recently released transcript of Tekashi 6ix9ine's plea, he had hearing as fans and even his baby mama believing that the rapper could be released in no time. So basically, what had gone out is with him working with the FBI, working with the government, that they're going to basically drop all charges and like dropping counts 1 through 9, and anything that he had already confessed to will be taken away, stripped. Like they wouldn't prosecute against it.
Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm. So it has like this very, 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 very small chance to, depending on how the information that he has, may be walking away. However, in a transcript of the Tekashi's plea hearing that was released this week, and according to the document, his obligations under the agreement says if Tekashi abides by the deal, the U.S. Attorney Office agrees not to prosecute the defendant for the crimes set forth in counts 1 through 9 of the superseding information, and as well as the additional crimes that the defendant has told the government about. So anyone that just read that, it kind of seems like, he might be released.
Yeah.
Well, according to more of a lawyer standpoint, the passage is missing a very important word. Further, as in the document, it should have stated that the U.S. Attorney's Office agrees not to prosecute the defendant further for the crime set forth on the counts 1 through 9 of the superseding information. So there's a big difference between that. So basically, the difference between that is that they can still charge with what they have, or they can bring it up to the judge. The judge can give him a lightened sentence, but he'd still get sentenced. So it's been reported that Tekashi faces a minimum of 47 years based on the conviction and his cooperation.
Yeah.
We were told that if he's determined that he's cooperated fully, a portion of his agreement states that, and this is straight transcript from that, the government agrees that it will file at the time of sentencing a motion pursuant to 5K 1.1 of the sentencing guidelines and move further pursuant to 3553E for a sentence below any mandatory minimum. However, if it is determined that the defendant has not fully cooperated, if the defendant has lied, or if he has committed any additional crimes, that the government may not move under 5K 1.1 and 3553E, and if that is the case, the government does not move, the defendant he cannot withdraw his guilty plea. So, basically what it is saying is that there's a chance, with all the information given, that there's a very slim chance he could get away with nothing. However, it seems like, for the most part, it's going to be like a very lightened sentence, maybe in the teens, maybe sub 10.
Wow.
So, but with this, he's going to have to get moved into protective custody, and
okay, see, this is
that's it's kind of hard.
This is where you can't. This is where I'm like, okay, because if he his rainbow hair, his 69 tattoos of 69, this big old 6'9" on his face, you can't hide that. Are you kidding me? To me, he is an idiot. I kind of do think he's an idiot. We've talked about before how he just raps about things, and he may not mean them. So another rapper right now got arrested for double homicide. We're gonna talk about that later. But he literally has a song called "Murder on My Mind," and he knows, he's a murderer. So that's the difference. He's probably gonna take this sentence and do his time. 6ix9ine he kind of just snitched everybody out, and he's like, no, I'm not this, and so now he's not having to pay the price. But for what? What is he going to do? If he's going to, be in protective custody, he can't make music anymore. To me, it's not even worth it. At this point, you're not even going to be able to have a successful career anymore. You're not even, you're going to literally be, I will look at him as a more respectful person if he were to go to jail and do his time versus him being a rapper who got off.
Yeah. See, I feel like they're gonna have to move him out of the country if they're gonna try to keep him in protective custody.
Absolutely, they're gonna have to send him to a country that doesn't really know who he is. Also,
because you already know there's even if he were to get off, he's gonna have hits on him.
100%. He has hits on him right now. I put money on that. But who put money on? I was going to use the term "put your money where your mouth is," but I can't. Charlemagne the God. If you don't know who Charlemagne the God is, look him up. He has a radio talk show, and I genuinely agree with some of the stuff he says. I don't agree with some of the other stuff he says. But he said in an interview that he will perform fellatio.
Fellatio.
There we go. On Tekashi 6ix9ine if he beats this case, if he gets no jail time. So, and he goes on to say, me saying that, you should know that I mean business. I 100% he doesn't think that, he's going to get out. But here's the thing. He might.
I think there's a very, very small chance he'll get off. I do think he's probably going to get a sub 10-year sentence. If not that, I don't think it's going to go over the teens.
No, I don't either. Honestly, if he does time, it won't be much, which is kind of, I don't know.
Plus, it's probably going to be in a federal facility, federal prison, and he's probably going to be placed where he's probably pretty comfortable. So that's the thing. I don't know. I feel like it would be better for him to just do the time or just do some time, Yeah. I understand. You got kind of terrified, 47 years in front of you. You get kind of scared. I get it to an extent, but, I don't know.
Yeah, it's thank God I'm not in that position.
Exactly.
Because I wouldn't know what to do.
So that's the update on our R. Kelly, and that's the update on our Tekashi 6ix9ine. Next, we'll move into...
We'll do another update. So, we have an update on 21 Savage. He has been released, but he went on to discuss his undocumented status, and he answered a couple questions. And reading through this, I think it's very important. I'm going to go ahead and read through all of his questions and answers, but he made some really, I think, powerful statements. And I don't know. I liked 21 Savage as a rapper. I just like some of his songs. I just thought they were catchy. But
see, in my opinion, he's not at fault.
Yeah.
For a lot of it.
Exactly.
It's not his fault.
I think that this is going to also start making people look at the immigration system different.
Yeah, because this is such a blindsiding fact.
Exactly.
What?
But we'll talk about that after I read this. So he never discussed his undocumented status for fear of catching the attention of the authorities. But he's been speaking out about it quite a bit after he got arrested, and he sat down with Good Morning America on Friday in addition to Sunday's interview with The Times. So those are two huge outlets that I don't know if they've ever run stories on him before, but so, it probably would have been about his music.
They had expedited this whole proceeding because he wasn't supposed to get released until today.
Yeah,
but he got out on a pretty good sized bond. They finally gave him a bond to get out on.
Yeah, and of course, they expedited it because he is who he is.
Right. And because it got so much public attention, and I'm sure I can only imagine it's due to community backlash.
Well, that, and I love the way, when he speaks about this, he calls himself an undocumented immigrant. He said that, him getting this much attention is because he feels like he has the responsibility. He wanted to do all this stuff because he feels responsible and he needs to advocate for other undocumented immigrants who fear deportation. So, he's including himself. He says, my situation is important because I represent poor Black Americans and I represent poor immigrant Americans. He said, you got to think about all the millions of people that ain't 21 Savage, that's in 21 Savage shoes. So, basically, he's just saying that, you got to think about, he got arrested and, feared deportation, was able to get out on bond because of who he is, but was still in custody for a while. So think about the people who that doesn't happen to. He remained in ICE custody at the Irwin County Detention Center in South Georgia until February 13th, when he was released on a $10,000 bond. The next day, he was in a hotel room in a suburb of North Atlanta, surrounded by several members of his legal team. Dressed in somber all-black, he spoke at length about his childhood, his time in detention, the Grammy Award ceremony he missed, and how growing up without legal status shaped the person he became. These are edited excerpts from the conversation. Do you remember first arriving here when you were young? Yeah, everything was bigger. I come from the poor side of London. My grandma's house is real skinny. So when we first moved out here, we was living in the hood still, but it was way bigger. The toilet size, the bathroom size, it was just different. But I fell in love with it. It's all I know. Do you remember when you became aware that your status wasn't settled? Probably the age when you start to get your driver's license. I couldn't never take driver's ed. I couldn't never go get a job about that age. Was it something you wanted to get taken care of? It felt impossible. It got to the point where I just learned to live without it because I still ain't got it. I'm 26 and I'm rich. So just learn to live without it. Honestly, those sound like song lyrics. That's going to be in his new song. Were you aware that there was a possibility that at some point you might not be able to stay in the country? Yeah, for sure. It's my worst nightmare. That's why it's always been trying to get corrected. Even if you got money, it ain't easy. It ain't no favoritism, and I respect it. I honestly respect it. It would be kind of messed up if they treated rich immigrants better than poor immigrants, I think. How draining was it being in detention, especially with the uncertainty of how long it was going to last? It really wasn't jail. It was the possibility of me not being able to live in this country no more that I've been living in my whole life, and all that just going through your head I love my house. I ain't going to be able to go in my house no more. I ain't going to be able to go to my favorite restaurant that I've been going to for 20 years straight. That's the most important thing. If you tell me I'll give you $20 million to go stay somewhere you ain't ever stayed, I'd rather be broke. I'll sit in jail to fight to live where I've been living my whole life.
Yeah, he had said he's not going down without a fight. He's not going to be leaving Atlanta without a fight. So,
to me, this story is important because
100%, because there's, like he had said right here, he says, my situation is important because I represent the poor Black Americans and I represent the poor immigrant Americans. He said, you got to think about all the millions of people that ain't 21 Savage that's in 21 Savage's shoes.
Exactly. So
it's definitely bringing awareness to the situation for sure.
I think it's also bringing awareness to our immigration system and our immigration policies, because you just got to think about it and that's why when the issue of DACA and all that stuff happened, because it's I don't know, for me, it's one thing for someone to come over illegally. It's another thing for someone to bring their kids and then their kids, grow up and just, because, what's the first thing you remember when you were a kid? How old were you?
Like, I remember, like, I was like 2-ish.
Okay, so kids who come over here when they're like 2, 3, they don't remember anything else but this.
See, and that's why it's like, it's definitely, because I'm a strong advocate for legal immigration, but I do agree. I do believe if you do come and reap the benefits of America and you're not here giving to it, I mean, that's kind of, to me, that's just against the law. And
well, absolutely.
That's all, like, feelings aside, like, that's just against the law. However, I really don't know where I sit, because it's not the kid's fault.
Yeah. I think one of the main issues with immigration, one of the issues with America that needs to be worked out is because a lot of people say, if you are, like what you said, if you come to America and you're reaping the benefits but you're not contributing, that should not be okay. And right. I definitely agree. But what I also agree is if you're living in America and you're reaping the benefits and you're not contributing, then I don't think that's okay either. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because, like,
I have no respect for people that take advantage of the system.
Because I think that a lot of the times, the way that, like, and the way immigration is changing things, definitely. It always has and it always will. Because, and I don't want to make a blanket statement, but I think that we have to, like, look at immigration as a thing and look at the people as a who, because a lot of, like, if in certain places, like in California, if you were to try to, or in Florida even, if you were to try to deport all of the illegal immigrants there, it would literally crush the economy. Mm-hmm. I think that we need to look at an easier legalization system. And also, you come here to contribute to American society and reap those benefits. So I think that you should be able to reap those benefits if you contribute to American society.
Yeah, I agree. And it's just like, that's the whole thing. I try to stay away because, man, there's no one answer for anything. You can't just... It's not a
it's a situational thing.
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
It's definitely a case by case scenario.
Yeah, you're dealing with people's lives here. It's definitely a case by case thing.
I think we should have a specialized court to go with our ICE system. That can go based off of case by case with some leniency, with maybe not granting them citizenship status, but maybe like give them like a visa, give them some time, getting them like
a work.
You know.
I think it should be easier to obtain a work visa.
I agree. I agree. If you're coming to work, I don't think you should get turned down. That's me, because I'm more of an economy kind of person. But again, like, I don't know the politics behind it. I don't know how one thing affects the other, because like I said, it's not a one answer fix all kind of deal.
No, it's really not, and that's the thing. It's that's why immigration is so hard, because it's a lot of there's two sides. Well, not necessarily two sides, but there's like different opinions about it. There's people who are like, this isn't your home, and then there's people who are like, well, you're not contributing, and then there's like, it's just a bunch of different like.
To me, it's like it puts up my morals against my ethics. It's like based on I know this is the law, right and wrong, but then there's like the human side of me is like,
yeah, and see, that's the thing. The law also, I also think that we just need to, I think every so often we need to reevaluate the law.
I agree.
I
agree. That's why we have like ways put into place to overturn laws, to update laws.
Absolutely. So, I think we need to go ahead and take a look at our laws.
And definitely
soon.
In this, like, just in this age, like,
I think we gotta go back, not to like mention the whole, we talked about the blackface thing that happened, didn't we? Did we talk about that last week?
I'm not sure we got time, or I don't think we had time to get there. Yeah.
Well, basically, just a judge from Virginia, or not a judge. I'm sorry. Was it like a
politician?
It was a politician.
Yeah.
I don't remember if he was the state senator. But from Virginia, he got caught up in a blackface scandal. And people are saying, well, back then it was fine. It wasn't really that long ago, though.
I know.
And I think we need to actually take a look at our laws again, because some of that stuff used to be legal. Slavery was legal until, it wasn't a law anymore. And then even still, there were so many other laws, I think that our legal system, not necessarily is made to be interpreted, but I think that it needs some reevaluation as the times change. I think our laws need to kind of fit,
I agree.
our mold.
I agree because, I think our laws should evolve with the society.
Exactly.
Because, I mean, like let's think about it. Like, when they made the Declaration of Independence and everything, like, they did it by candlelight with a quill.
Yeah. And when they said every man, they meant every man.
Yeah, and now we're on the moon. So, there's a couple... There's a couple different... technically, we're not there anymore, but...
Oh, yeah, R.I.P.
But, I think that we should definitely be updating it. I don't think we should be basing everything on it.
Yeah, I think that...
I think if, Thomas Jefferson were to be here right now, he'd be like, you realize y'all have, like, spaceships, right?
I think that there's a lot of stuff that... we focus too much on what it meant back then, and we don't necessarily look at certain laws, like the Quartering Act. We don't need that anymore.
But at the same time, back then to immigrate to America, you had to get on a boat, and come from
one place to another.
Yeah. Now, it's.
But that was easy. You get on that boat, you're here. Citizen. And so, I think that we just need to reevaluate. I don't want to say I'm glad that he got arrested and taken into custody, but I'm glad that he's
bringing awareness to it.
Exactly. And, he's speaking up about it as well.
So, definitely, that's definitely not the end of the case. That's just the beginning.
Absolutely not. And we'll keep you guys...
Because he's on bail, so he still has to go through trial and everything, so...
We'll keep you guys updated with all of that situation.
As we get information on it, for sure, because... Hopefully, within the next, hopefully by the next time we'll have an indictment on R. Kelly.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Figure out what Tekashi's doing, and then hopefully figure out kind of what the judge's point of view and how it's all going in his proceedings. So, hopefully by next week we'll have all that. But now I'm going to move into, I guess, a little bit better news. I'll say a little bit more happy news, I should say. Oh,
for the new beloved father. If you'll remember, Lil Xan, he's got plenty of songs out now. He's I don't want to say he's most known for dating Noah Cyrus.
The ex-fiancé.
Yeah, he's really... That meme
the
of
one
him
who gave
licking
him
her face.
A bong to
Billy Ray
on his birthday.
I think he also said that he's not going to make music anymore, which I was like, that's good news. I don't know what I'm supposed to be saying.
I think it should be. I think it's good for him.
Yeah,
personally, because I feel like it was just it's just not.
I feel like he was one of those SoundCloud rappers who just making beats because it was fun and had a song go off.
As soon as he got to fame, he was like, I do not like this.
I think that I don't think everybody's meant to be famous.
Oh, no,
I really
100%.
do think that some people are made to just be content working a 9-to-5 job. See, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's why I never want to be a CEO or CFO. I would love to develop and make it, but I don't want to be in charge of the rest of it, man. I just want to tinker. I just want to do me.
I just want to make enough money to be able to afford my new Jeep, a good, decent size house payment, and food for my dog.
Yeah, I would.
And travel.
Yeah, I was about to say at least travel. I would like to afford one vacation a year.
Oh, absolutely.
Just one, and nothing extravagant. I'm just saying a nice vacation.
I want to, you know what? Hey, for spring break, we'll talk about, we'll do when we do our spring break episode, we'll talk about how to vacation on a budget.
Okay.
Because honestly, I realized lately, it's not as expensive to travel as you think.
Well, not with gas prices down. And then, of course, Airbnb also helps a lot.
Oh, that changed the game. But, so anyways, Lil Xan is going to be a father. He is a father-to-be. His partner, Annie Smith, and him are expecting a child. He put it on an Instagram post. He said, wanted to wait, but I just can't leave my fans in the dark. It's official. I'm going to be a father, he wrote. I love you guys so much and hope you stay along for this crazy journey. I've never felt more happy in my life. All of you are invited to the gender reveal party, I promise. So that means that he's probably going to do it on Facebook Live or Instagram Live or something. Because
100%.
There's no way that, he's going to have all of his fans show up. But the 22-year-old hip-hop artist who split with Noah Cyrus late last year after a short-lived relationship saved his kindest words for her new lover. Smith, who he thanks for saving me, a nod to her support while he attended rehab to treat opioid addiction. It's not only the impending arrival creating his assignment Xan's. I don't like when people call him Xan. What is his real name? He's updated on his official sophomore album, Be Safe, conceived as a tribute to his late friend Mac Miller. He's also enthused and he can't wait to show the world everything he's been working on at YouTube Space. So he's not done rapping, which is good, I guess. I don't know. I'm glad that he's clean.
Yeah, that was like the number one thing.
I hate...
Because he had talked about, well, definitely after Mac, he kind of was like,
Exactly. I think what I hate the most about like this new like rap culture and I guess mumble rap culture too is not even the everybody's why something something or lil this big whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't like the drugs of it all.
Right.
Like I don't like how certain types of drugs are being normalized. And I say certain types because I'm just going to say it. I don't think that certain drugs are bad. However, because especially prescription medication, I think that people are way overprescribed. But like, I think when used for what they're supposed to be used for, like Xanax, yes, that will calm you down and make you go to sleep. That will help you do those things. When you take it just because you don't need it or just because, that's when you start to get addicted to it.
It's just like I take Adderall.
Yes, exactly.
It like focuses me down. It slows my thought process to where I focus on one thing at a time. And I mean, it might, no, don't get me wrong, like an assignment that would normally take me 15, 20 minutes is going to take me more towards like 40 to an hour, but I'm going to get I'm going to get a better grade.
Well, see, that's the thing. And like my point is those drugs are prescribed for a reason. And like I said, I do think we are overprescribed in this country. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think that Big Pharma is a huge issue.
Oh, yeah.
But when they're taken like they're supposed to be, I think that there is not a huge problem.
Exactly.
It's when you and me, well, I'm not officially diagnosed ADD, but I am. If you know me, I am. It would be different than someone who has no issues at all when it comes to focusing or doing things like that. It's going to affect them in a different way.
It hypes them, and then it makes them like super hyper.
And that's a type of high for them, and I get that. But the thing is you don't understand the effects it's having on your body. Xanax, someone that I knew had someone in their life pass away because they OD'd on Xanax. Xanax slows your heart down.
The mental...
What do you think is going to happen if you take too many?
Not only that, but like just the mental degradation.
Well, yeah, because
from using, it's just...
These also, they help with the imbalance in your brain because there are certain reasons why you're ADD or things like that. Mm-hmm. There's a chemical imbalance, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a thing.
Yeah.
So when you're taking these, it's like, okay, let me balance these chemicals. If you don't have an imbalance, you're going to after you do this.
See, and that's what I'd been told, like for instance, like Xanaxes. I guess they're used to like kind of like an antidepressant, and I don't know exactly what it is, but I know it fills you with endorphins.
Yeah.
And like, so once you get used to taking them all the time when you're not prescribed them, you stop taking them, your body doesn't know how to create those endorphins anymore. So there's this, I don't know, it's just...
I'm glad that he's clean.
I think prescription drugs are probably the most dangerous of all the drugs.
I think, yeah. I would definitely agree. Well, I'm going to get a little on a happier note for a sec. Ariana Grande, she just registered a new song. It's called Juice. A lot of times registered songs, we don't really know what's going to happen with them. But it's produced by the same people who did Imagine, Fake Smile, and In My Head from her last Thank You Next album. But
we know that she does have new music coming on the way, so it's not like one of those, oh, it's registered. Yeah. But she's been actively like, oh, yeah, we're coming out. We got new music coming out.
Exactly. It debuted at number 1. Thank You Next actually debuted number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. And it's her 4th album to debut at number 1. So it surpassed Sorry Not Sorry at 179 million streams on Spotify. It's now the most streamed female pop song of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it kind of just came out, so that's kind of wild.
Yeah, and she's the first female artist in history to replace themselves at number 1 on the UK singles chart. So basically that means that she had a song go number 1. That song was no longer number 1, and instead of, it replaces a new song, she
replaced herself.
Oh,
which they
man.
have this big thing going on Twitter that, like, I was confused that her fans were saying boycott
it was like
7 Rings, or one of the songs. And I was confused on it, and so was she.
7 Rings or something.
Well,
like that.
after they kind of like explained it that since it was one of her songs was competing, I think 7 Rings was competing for it, or one of them songs was competing for that spot against herself. But if they allowed that, she would have the first time ever be 3 different songs on it.
Well, yeah. So it was, I don't know. It was either Thank You Next or 7 Rings, one of the two. But people were saying boycott it because they were trying to get it to trend up to number 1.
Mm-hmm.
So
that way,
the other one.
That way, she would be the first person ever to have 3. I can't remember if it's all in 1 month or 1 year, like 3 top ones. So.
She's now the second female artist in history, and the first since Madonna back in 1985. Hello, I wasn't alive then. To occupy the top 2 spots on the UK charts. So it's funny. In the UK, Break Up With Your Girlfriend, I'm Bored is number 1. And then 7 Rings is number 2. Speaking of Break Up With Your Girlfriend, I'm Bored, or Girlfriend by Avril Lavigne, she, Head Above Water, has now dethroned Thank You Next, and is the number 1 album on iTunes worldwide. So, okay, Avril, congratulations.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she came out of nowhere. She was on this hiatus, and now all of a sudden she's topping the charts. I'm like, okay, I'm about it. What's up?
Yeah, congratulations. Also, Melanie
Martinez.
Thank you. She's going to release a new album this summer.
Which we had, I know I brought up like 4 or 5 episodes before she had talked about it. Now we finally have like a confirmed time frame at least.
And she's also working on an hour-and-a-half long movie called Crybaby, which was also, I don't know if that was the name of her album or the name of one of her most famous songs.
Yeah, it was name of album, and I believe it's, I believe it's like, I'm trying to compare it to somebody else's. I know Gaga had one kind of like it. I want to say it's kind of similar. So, we'll see. I know I'm excited. Like, I liked her music, and so I'm excited to hear it. But we're going to go ahead and move in. I know Chardae had kind of talked about a little bit about the Murder on My Mind. Well, the rising 19-year-old rapper YNW Melly was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder on Wednesday, February 13th. And Melly has been accused of killing 2 of his closest friends, YNW Sack Chaser and YNW Juvie, in fatal shootings last year.
Okay, I'm sorry. Did you just say Sack Chaser?
Yeah, S-A-K Chaser.
So, money, but okay. Wow, that's quite a name.
And so this was a fatal shooting back in 2018. And so he had kind of maintained this innocence on his Instagram. And following the news of his arrest, public interest in this breakout 2017 single, Murder on My Mind, has peaked once again due to its lyrical content. In fact, it's now reached number 1 on the U.S. Apple Music charts, and according to the chart data, meanwhile, the song has steadily been climbing on the Spotify charts, currently sitting at number 19. So yeah, like right there, they should have kind of known something was going up. But it's just me. They originally, like, they thought that was his confession to the murder, except that it was released in 2017 while the murder happened in 2018. So
maybe it was like his plan.
Maybe. See, that's what I was thinking. I was like, man, he's just kind of talking about what he's gonna do. So, but YNM Melly has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. And I don't see it. Okay, his legal name is Jamel Morris Demons. right? Demons is his last name.
Demons?
He's got some demons for sure.
Wait a minute. See, I'm pretty bad at math, but honestly, this is adding up for me.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff for sure. So he turned himself in to Miramar police for the 2018 fatal shootings of Anthony Williams and Christopher Thomas Jr. Thankfully, we have the real names.
Yeah, right?
They were two aspiring rappers who were also real good friends with Melly. And according to the Sun Sentinel, the victims were driving to Memorial Hospital Miramar at around 4:35 a.m. on October 26, 2018, where Williams and Thomas had sustained multiple gun wounds and were pronounced dead in the emergency room. So shortly after the victim's death, the artist's lawyer told the press his client was in mourning. So he's sad, he's upset, obviously. Attorney Bradford Cohen told the Sun Sentinel back in October. Those were his best friends. Cortland Henry also was taken into custody in connection to the shooting, and he faces premeditated murder charges. And according to TCP Palm, Miramar investigators determined that Melly was the one who fatally shot Williams and Thomas, and authorities told the outlet Melly and Henry had staged the crime scene to resemble a drive-by shooting. So I haven't heard this song, but, you know, if they definitely talk about a drive-by shooting in it, you know, it's definitely a couple red flags there.
Honestly.
But then I just, what I want to know is, and I looked for it, there's not really a reason, because he's still claiming his innocence. Why would you kill two of your best friends? I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, exactly.
One, losing one of my best friends, let alone killing them.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't honestly know what, I guess, then like I said earlier, this is kind of like the opposite. I feel like maybe somebody crossed them or something. I don't know.
It's possible, but one thing I know is, unlike Tekashi, I don't think he's going to be able to get away.
I don't either.
There's no way.
I really don't. Good luck to him, ? But I don't think he's going to get away with it. But I will keep you guys updated on that situation.
So I know we had a bunch of happy news today, but
yeah. Here's for the happy news. Like we said, it was a great week to get arrested. Just a quick sports update. The All-Star Weekend happened. Team LeBron won. But honestly, my favorite part is the skills challenge in the games. Mm-hmm. Jason Tatum won the skills challenge. Who won the guy who won the 3-point competition didn't even look excited about it, so I was mad. But Steph Curry, he has a brother named Seth Curry, who plays in the NBA.
Interesting.
Yeah, they were both at the 3-point competition, so that was kind of cool.
See, I was like, man, do they still do the dunking competition?
Yeah, they still do the dunk. Some of the dunks were actually kind of weak this year.
Yeah,
so.
they seem to be. You just can't compete with
Yeah.
It's really hard to come up with anything original now anyway.
Exactly, because everything's been done. Just a real quick blanket on Tarleton sports. Baseball is now 2-8. They are on a 2-game losing streak. They played Arkansas Fort Smith, won 1 out of the 3-game series they played this weekend. But they, they won 1 of the 4. That just makes the odds worse. But
well, at least they can say, yeah, we might have lost 4 times.
I mean, hey,
but it was the same team.
The game they won was a shutout, so it was 6-0 after they lost 0-6. So just repaying them back.
After winning 2, you kind of put your third string in.
Yeah. But they'll be playing at home this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday if you want to check them out. And then our Tarleton softball team is also on a 1-game losing streak, but they are 11-2. They went ahead and had a series with Cameron this weekend, and they won 2 of those 3. They're also playing at home this week on Friday, Saturday. Not on Sunday. They have a doubleheader on Saturday, and then next Friday.
And both teams, is it both against Texas A&M?
You know what? I think they no. UC Colorado Springs, actually, which is a place that I'm looking at going to, kind of working at. I didn't tell you about that. I'll tell you about that later. I talked to John this week, so exciting career stuff coming up.
Before we end it off, we did leave out that Joe Flacco.
Oh, yeah.
He is now being traded to the Broncos.
Okay, so if you guys know, I think I've talked about it before, but I'll be graduating in May. My plan, I have my lease until July, the very end of July, so my plan is to move to Colorado. I kind of want to just get a job up there for a little bit and hopefully get a job in my field, get some experience going into public relations, but I would love to work in marketing, sports advertising, things like that. So I definitely plan on being involved with sports and stuff up there, and I've come to I knew I'm going to have to be a Broncos fan, but now I'm going to have to be a Joe Flacco fan, which I don't know how the Ravens did it for so long. So, I'm going to bite my tongue and I'm going to do it.
It's better than who they have. About it.
Yeah, and it kind of went downhill after Peyton. So, not that Peyton was great either when he played with the Broncos. He wasn't horrible, but it was just, the end of his career.
Got him to the Super Bowl.
At Eli Manning. So, he's done too. He needs to retire. But anyways, so yeah, I'm going to have to become a Broncos fan. Which is fine. But a Joe Flacco fan is what I don't know if I can do. But I do like the Nuggets jerseys.
There you go.
So I'm pumped about that.
And then, of course, you got the Avalanches. So
yes.
At least you get to stay into some hockey.
Exactly. And then, I really can't complain because they have football, basketball, hockey, and baseball. I'll be a Rockies fan. That's fine. So I'll come see him. Hopefully the Rangers will play.
Can't be worse than being a Rangers fan.
I'm a Blue Jays fan too. So next week we'll update you guys. It was All-Star Weekend, so it's the second half of the NBA. We'll update you guys next week with what the standings are, who's not making the playoffs at the Cleveland Browns, and just whatever else is going on. But
so, like I said, we are make sure we're going to get you updated with the 21 Savage, the Tekashi 6ix9ine, and the R. Kelly as well. And that's going to be all on a next week episode of
Wave of the Planet.
Big audition.
If you enjoyed the show, please rate, review, and subscribe for updates when new episodes drop. And follow our station on Twitter and on Facebook at The Planet 107 to see everything going on at Tarleton Radio.